Hey guys. Well, we're going to be watching a player named VeryDarkMatter play Katarina mid, and she is going to be against most likely the enemy Brand. She's starting with the standard Boots 3-pot, almost always the best, as we've said. Just gives you a lot of mobility, good amount of regen, and the ability to escape ganks and avoid skill shots, which is especially good against a champion like Brand, who has a very powerful skill shot. His skill shot nuke is his most damaging nuke, and he has the skill shot stun. So being able to avoid those with the help of Boots is very important. So Mummy's going to be starting blue. Luckily, Katarina does not need blue, and Mummy is a jungle that very heavily relies on blue and could benefit from having a blue after the first one. And since Katarina doesn't need the blue, this Mummy will have the opportunity to take the later blues rather than having them to give them over to the mid champion. So picking a resourceless mid like Katarina, or even a Vlad mid, or something of that nature, is often a good choice if you have a jungle like Mummy, because it allows him to use those blues and to jungle more effectively. So just things to consider about a team comp. Now you'll notice in this team comp that they have the Mummy and they have the Malphite and the Alistar, so they have a lot of AoE CC, which is great in combination with the Katarina. Katarina wants to be able to jump in on some enemies who can't respond and lay down a ton of damage with her ult, and the CC coming out from Alistar and Mummy and Malphite will help to do that. Now Katarina ate a lot of harass early. That's going to happen when you try to last hit early on as a melee character against a ranged character. Brand is using a good amount of his mana, so if Katarina is able to use her health pots to heal up, she will be able to outlast this Brand's damage in terms of outlasting his mana, and then she'll be able to take control of the lane. Now she's landing good harass with her bouncing blades and also last hitting with them. Unfortunately, she had just used Shunpo. She just used her bouncing blade, so when she Shunpo'd, she wasn't able to follow up immediately. That's a time when you need to watch the mummies coming in and to coordinate a little better. She's able to make a really aggressive flash into the Shunpo bouncing blade to catch the Brand off guard, and that's a very good way to get a kill. If you are sure you can land the Shunpo immediately, it should be noted that if the Brand was able to flash away as soon as the Cat flashed, Cat would just be down a flash and would have been in a very dangerous position had that Warlock been coming and had the Brand been able to then use his spells on the Cat, who is now down the flash. Cat's up in last hits and is able to buy double Amp Tome, whereas Brand just went, he was able to just go pots and woods. So Cat is going to be at a large advantage in lane, and hopefully we'll see her pushing that by being aggressive and harassing aggressively with her blades. She's using the blades to weaken the creeps. This isn't really something she needs to be doing. Using them to harass would have probably been the better option. Last hitting on the tower is very hard, because if she stands still, she's going to be eating the AoE from the Brand. Now you notice that she uses the Shunpo to avoid the circle, the nuke, the Pillar of Flames. That's very good on a champion with a blink or high mobility, to use that mobility to get out of the enemy's AoE spells. Cat is throwing the bouncing blades to get last hits and harass at the same time. That's really how you want to use blades. You'll notice that Brand is very low now. Brand has a couple options. Brand has to health pot up, but Cat does have that Grievous Wounds debuff, which limits the effectiveness of health pots. and she also has the Ignite, which is now down, that can help finish him off. Mummy comes in and misses, and it looks like Bran actually had a connection issue, and they were still unable to kill him, and actually Mummy almost dies. I think they were confused that maybe they were being baited by the Bran who wasn't moving. Cat hits level 6 and gets her ult up. Cat is, she's trying to find the Bran. Cat is not a champion that's very good at killing the Wraiths. She takes a lot of damage trying to do so, because she doesn't have a lot of great AoE and a lot of tankiness. But you could still pick up the big one if you have an opportunity. Cat is more of a roamer, of a roaming, ganking mid. She has very short cooldowns when she hits when her passive activates. Her passive lowers her cooldowns by 15 seconds every time she gets a kill or assist. So if she ganks and gets a kill, her Death Lotus comes down to about a 45-second cooldown. So she'll be able to gank all the time if she wants to. And you'll see when she starts getting a Gunblade is about the time when she starts really being effective in just outright killing somebody from 100 to 0. Now, she would be better off running through this path over here, which would avoid this ward over here and allow her to get in a better position when trying to gank. Now you notice that she ganked when Alistar was back at base, and although Mummy was there, it was not as favorable as a fight as it could have been had the Alistar been there. Had she taken the correct gank pack and waited until her and Mummy could make a 4-on-2 fight bottom, likely netting them 2 kills and then the dragon right afterwards. Ganking as a mid with your jungler is very effective, and is a great way to pick up free dragons. But Cat was still able to get the assist. Unfortunately, Bran was able to kill the Mummy. So they are a little bit closer to even now than they were before. Bran hasn't bought yet, so Cat still has the advantage, although he does have the double buff. She jumps in on him and uses the ult, and luckily the bouncing and the burn do not kill her. It's a good aggressive play there. Especially since Bran had the double buff, even if she had traded, and it would have been a good trade for her because she would have got the double buff off the Bran even if she lost it herself. Another thing to note is that trading when you are pushing into the enemy tower is a good thing, because they will lose more creeps than you do if you trade when the creeps are under their tower. You do have to be sure that you will trade rather than just feed them a kill, because otherwise that's going to work out heavily in their favor. But now Cat has the double buff, and she is back in lane. She uses a stun poke to get up to the creeps. That's something you can do. It's important on a champion like Cat or Ez or Triss to be very careful how you use your mobility spells. Those spells are very important for trying to keep you alive, so using them without a clear goal in mind is dangerous and needs to be done very carefully. Now she's able to pretty much zone the Bran because she is a bit more powerful than he is. She has this boots 2, so she's faster than he is. She has sustain from the revolver, which is a good buy, usually rushing a gunblade on Katarina, which gives her a lot of damage and a lot of sustain in addition to the extra slow. Now hopefully here she's calling the Bran meal. It's a good follow by her, and her team nets a couple kills. So she is able to come and try to help clean up as Bran makes a play on the Bane and is unable to kill that Bane. Unfortunately, Vlad comes in and forces Vane's heal. Cat keeps chasing. This is a good play by Cat and the Mummy. Although they are themselves to be chased off by this Ashe, who they could quickly kill if they were able to coordinate with the two of them, although they were wary of the enemies respawning and coming back, which is also a very good thing. Always be wary of enemies coming back. So in that situation, if you're not sure when the enemies will be there, if you're not sure when the respawn was and how long it will take them, it is best just to run from the Ashe, provided you can both get away, provided that she can't kite the Mummy and kill him while Cat runs away. So that was a good decision. It's a decision that You need, often it's best to take the safer route, not go crazy for the kills when it's not a sure thing. Especially in rare egos when you're not entirely sure about the capabilities of your character. You want to be a little bit more cautious until you have a very solid grasp of what your character can do. Right here, it's not great to tank the creeps, but because Kat's not great at last hitting on the tower, she does this because she has the sustain from the revolver. Had she sort of circled around a little bit in lane, she could have pulled the creeps back towards her tower, but kept them in front of the tower, tanked them closer to her own tower, but not in the middle, and that would have saved her some damage and also made the brand push up further and allowed her to be more aggressive in her zoning and in her trying to kill him. Now you'll notice that Kat has bought no wards so far this game, and her gank paths often involve her running through wards. As Kat, if you go to gank top, you can take, so you see the Malphite and Katarina combo, and Katarina will be able to jump and bouncing blade for the double kill. That's a great kill, because the Malphite's able to knock them up while Kat gets an ult off just uninterrupted. But as ganking top, you can walk through here and come up through the bush and land a nice combo, and you avoid most wards unless they have a ward here. If you know they have a ward here, you can walk down and around and through here and avoiding both those wards. If you want to gank bottom, you walk right through here, this area, to the tri-bush, or if they have a ward there, you can walk right down here and come up very quickly, avoiding the tri-bush ward, and kill them here. But that's only effective if they are pushed up. So we have Katarina back in lane. She's up 20 CS, she's up some kills, she's doing very well. She sees the Soraka down here, notices the Ashe is in her lane. She's playing a little bit aggressively against two people. That's rather dangerous. If Ashe was able to ally her after her Shunpo, she would have been in a good deal of trouble. She can't really fight this Ashe because she cannot jump in, because Brand can kill her. She can fight the Ashe one-on-one, but because the Brand support, she's unable to use her spells effectively. So even in a situation where you could quickly kill an opponent, you have to be wary of the teammates being around, limiting your ability to fight even the one teammate who's a little bit split off. Now she's running the dragon because her team is getting into a little bit of a fight there. Mummy goes down, unfortunately, and Katarina's kind of waiting around to see if she can pick someone off. It's good to get away from the Warwick. The Warwick could have ulted her into a Brand combo, and that likely would have killed her, even though she is ahead of the Brand. The Warwick holding her in place for Brand to land all of his spells will still do a lot of damage. Any AP carry will still do a fair amount of damage on a target if they can hit all their spells. Now she runs right by this ward again. She really hasn't been careful to avoid these. Now she has to watch out for Soraka's silence when she tries to ult. Luckily Soraka appeared to have her silence down. She runs back after she gets the kill, and unfortunately her team continues diving, and Warwick is able to pick up the Alistar and is now chasing Vayne. Kat does come back at low health and tries to help, and they're able to trade 1-for-1 and then have her get away. Luckily that Shunpo refresh allows her to jump to creeps. Always, as Katarina, Jax or Lee Sin, be watching for your own creeps and look for opportunities to jump away. Make sure that you use those spells to escape effectively and don't waste them, because they can save your life in a lot of situations. Now we see that she completes a gunblade and gets a red pot. A red pot right here is an interesting idea. She is very strong right now, and a red pot will help her push that advantage and make sure she secures the kills. A red pot's 250 gold, and if it helps you secure one extra kill, that's definitely worth it. But you have to be sure that you use it. You can also use it to bait. A red pot will give you an extra between 140 and 235 health as soon as you use it, so you can use it to bait out as kind of a mini heal that I don't believe is affected by the Ignite debuff. So that's an interesting thing to note. Right now, Kat's looking to harass this Brand down so that she can jump in with her Gunblade ult Ignite combo and land a kill on him. It's good that she's harassing him down first rather than trying to 0 to 100 him. And now we see that because she doesn't have any wards, she's able to get Warlock ulted. Luckily the other team is unable to chain their spells together correctly. Bran wasn't in position to land the quick stun, and the other team got impatient and didn't wait for her to shunpo and then try to land their spells. They let her shunpo to get away and dodge spells, which is giving basically Kat the maximum utility out of her spell. So that's a mistake by the other team. There's no reason that a 3-man gank with a Warlock and Ashe shouldn't be able to net a kill on pretty much anybody, especially against a player with their flash down. Now you notice that Mummy's getting caught in the enemy jungle. Kat's following. This is a bit dangerous that she's running in, and now she's kind of waiting because she doesn't want to run into the 4-man enemy team, but she noticed that Brand is lagging behind, or 3-man, Soraka is back. She noticed these players are lagging behind, so she comes in and nets a quick kill. Then she becomes scared of the Brand, but if she notices that Ashe is very low mana, Ashe will not be able to stun her. Even if Ashe's arrow is up, it's probably down. After people get in a fight, their ults are likely down, and you can always ask your team. So she's able to clean up 2 quick kills because she was following. She followed at a safe distance. That's definitely the right thing to do. Don't just run straight into the jungle and run into the enemies as they start backing up. Make sure that you're at a safe distance away and that you have vision of the enemies as you continue running towards them. And right after they get kills, they take an objective. That's always the best thing to do when you get kills, is to somehow get a bigger advantage. Kills aren't the way to get ahead. Kills don't put you that far ahead. They're worth a good amount of gold, but not an extremely large amount of gold. What will get you ahead is taking team objectives after you get the kills. Taking the dragons, taking the turrets, pushing the waves and denying XP and gold is what is the real benefit of the kills. So we see now Kat's very powerful. She had activated a red pot when she went into a fight. Whenever you go into a big fight and you have the pots, those are the times to activate them. And we see her roaming bottom once again. Actually going through the jungle this time, as she did the last time. This is definitely the right route to go, especially since we've seen that Soraka has been warding up in the higher, in the dragon area. Now Kat chooses to ignore the Warwick and run into the main fight. That's very good. Don't get caught up with fighting people on the outside. When you're a powerful character like an AP carry, you're needed in the main fight. You're needed not to fight the tanky champions, but to help kill the enemy damage dealers. Especially as an AP, you want to focus on the enemy AD carry and the enemy AP carry and burst those characters down. So it was good that Kat realized what she needed to do in the team fight and ignored what looked like an easy kill that would have kept her away from the main fight and maybe allowed her teammates to die rather than just picking up those 2 easy kills. So they win the game. A lot of very good Kat play. A couple things that would have helped her maybe get a couple more kills by just taking better gank paths and by being a little more aware of warding and and using the wards to help realize where the enemies are and looking for a chance to pick them off. She didn't buy, I don't think, a ward. She bought actually 2 wards, but I don't think she placed very many wards. And wards are actually very good on Kat because you can jump to them as you can with Jax or Lee Sin, and you can use them as kind of a mini flash if you are quick enough and if you put the wards down and then use your Shunpo to them. So that's also a very good trick that we didn't see her utilize much, but hopefully she'll start buying more wards and maybe we'll see her in the future. Good game overall though.